Hey, this is Bill, and so today I want to talk about something that I never was a great fan of, and that's pesto. So we went to dinner at my sister's house, and her husband served this pesto, and the way he put it together made me really think about how this could be something really good. I just think a lot of places just do it wrong. You know, I don't use stuff from the jars. You know, you hear me say that all the time. So first time I tried it, I was like, oh, this is not right. So what's wrong with it, and how do I make it better? Because you know, it's basil and pine nuts and blah blah blah. So this is kind of my version. It's still easy because that's how I do things. I hope you do give it a try because it's kind of fun. Unfortunately, I have to use the food processor. This is a little too much for an immersion blender. So if you don't have a food processor, you'll need something. You could probably use a blender maybe, or just take your time in an immersion blender. So unfortunately, it's running. I can't talk a whole lot, so I'll pulse a whole bunch so I can explain things. So the first thing that I learned, trial and error, is that basil can be really overpowering. So what I've done is I got some fresh basil, and ultimately you want like a cup of basil, and you need about 2 cups of greens to go in there. So what I've got here is I went and cut some fresh basil, came out to be about a cup, and so I added a cup of baby spinach. I like arugula. You could use that too. This was kind of handy for me. So you're like, okay, that's like a quart of greens. Well, you know, if I stuck my hand here and pushed it down, you're going to see real quick that it's really is about 2 cups. So just keep that in mind. If you like a little more basil, and you know, obviously you want the fresh basil from the grocery store or your farmer's market or whatever. You can't substitute dry basil. But it's really simple. I know people that don't use basil at all. I've read some recipes, got some ideas from a whole bunch of other people. So if you wanted to, you could make it just out of arugula. You know, arugula has a kind of peppery taste to it. That might be right up your alley. So if so, give it a try. All right. So I got my greens. I love the smell of basil, so this is going to be good. And it's always just kind of a pain, I know. Food processor, oh Lord. Alright, so I need something in here that's going to kind of work with it. So, pine nuts. I don't ever have pine nuts around, so I'm like, well, what can I use differently? So I tried pistachios. So you want a 1/2 cup of pistachios, and these are already shelled. Remember when you were a kid, the pistachios were always red, so your fingers always got red from breaking them open. Now I'm lazy, I'm already shelled. Alright, let's get this to pulse a couple times, see what happens. Alright, look at that. Help me. Alright. So the other thing is I want about 4 to 6 cloves of garlic. I got 5 here. How handy. Then I need about 1/2 cup of grated cheese, like Parmesan or Romano. Romano's a little stronger. I like the taste of it. Just 1/2 cup. Bet you didn't know that was in pesto. Okay, now comes the fun part. Take my little spatula here. Side scrape down. Not gonna lie, it smells really good. All my kitchen tools are gonna be green today. Okay, so last step is when I turn this on, I need to drizzle in about half a cup of olive oil, which is about all I got left in here. So this will work out perfectly. Let's get this thing going. I said unfortunately I can't talk a whole lot when this is running, but might stop in the middle so I can kind of check out the consistency. Scrape it down one more time. Now, we always unplug it before we take the blade out. Don't hide this in soapy water for some to reach in. Let's see what this looks like. Oh. Mamma mia, this is a nice pesto. So I really think the amount of olive oil has to do with how much liquid and what the consistency is. So part of it is what you're going to put in it, and I always pre-cook my pasta. So when you pre-cook your pasta, I always have to put a little olive oil on it so that it doesn't stick, right? So you're always going to have some olive oil already on the pasta. So this is just kind of like the extra sauce you put on, right? Try and do this, trying to see how close I was on my measurement. I hate things going to waste. Anyway, I just found a big puddle right there. Okay, so let's look here. I've got pretty solid 1.5, maybe a little more cups. So I probably could have used a little more green stuff, but I was going to mess up my ratio. So this is really, and people do say you can put this in the freezer, you know, put it in a little Tupperware or something. I really think it loses a lot of the flavor and kind of turns color. That's one of the good things about putting spinach in here. The spinach really makes that green pop, because basil, as you know, turns really quickly. It gets kind of brown, even when it's in this. So that being said, I need to clean this all up. I'm going to show you how you can make pasta with pesto, and we're going to do it my way. See you back in just a minute. So we're back again. Look at this, beautiful, really smells good, and I did taste a little bit. It is good, trust me. My pesto, I'm thinking about that arugula thing. I might try that next time, but I think the spinach works really good because it does keep the vibrant green. So now, what are you going to mix in with your pesto? Well, I learned this from my brother-in-law. Right now, asparagus is really good in the farmer's market, so I bought myself a big old bunch. Now, I want to cut this fairly small pieces, and when you buy asparagus, you want it to be nice and firm, and you want the skinny pieces, not the big old fat ones, less woody. So I want to get these started here. So what I did was I had a little olive oil in here, I put a little garlic, not much because there's lots of garlic in there, and I put a little crushed red pepper in here just to flavor it. And I kind of let this sit on low just to extract some of the flavor out of those crushed red peppers. Now I'm just going to add so I cut it all up, and I wanted 8 ounces of asparagus. I weighed actually, so that I could tell you that. Just want to get these danced around in here. So, I don't know what it is, but asparagus really did well. I wouldn't have thought about it. Like I said, it was my brother-in-law that made this. And he did it with a whole seafood thing with calamari and the likes, and it was really good, I have to say. But that was because we were having a special get-together dinner. So, what do I do with the rest of the asparagus in that bunch? Well, because I hate wasting food, I like to make cream of asparagus soup. And when you make cream of asparagus soup, you can cut down everything but that last little end of the stalk and use everything else. I just don't like to use the brown part where it's cut. You know, who knows how long it's been cut for. Or if it gets real white and woody, you can tell. You want it to be nice and green. So basically, this just needs to kind of toss around in here. Trying to get a little heat to it. Nice and spread out. And I mean, you can, I'm just giving you kind of the ratios. You can make as much as you want. Just keep adding more. You could double that recipe, and if you don't mind freezing it, or you can refrigerate it for a couple days. Be my guest, make a lot more pesto. You can experiment and let me know. All right, I like a little fresh ground black pepper in here. I'm not trying to kill it, I just want to get a little bit of. We got it set kind of on fine. In case you don't know, the tighter you turn this little knob on top, the finer the pepper comes out. You loosen up to get the big gnarly stuff, which is okay, I use that too. Alright, so my garlic's really gotten fragrant. It's really cool when you cook the asparagus, it really pops that green out. And I don't want to keep asparagus in the refrigerator for too long. I like to kind of get it the day before, so it's as fresh as possible. Make sure all those flavors are getting together. And no preservatives in my pesto. Alright, so I've got a bowl of pasta that I cooked earlier in here. I'm going to zap it in a second. And so, the asparagus, I just want to get some color in it. And that takes about 2 minutes, and I think we're just about there. I can start to see it. Don't have to kill it. I don't want to eat it, like old school steamed and boiled in water, all kind of mushy. It does have to have some crispness. All right, so what's going to be my real protein in this? So I took a pound of, they had the local shrimp. I got a pound of it, and it's peeled, so it came out to be about 12 ounces. That's just about right. I weighed it. People always ask me. And these are good size. Don't have to use this big if you don't want. I tend to like the bigger ones just because You actually can taste them. They got texture. Get this all happy in here. Shrimp are such a nice food to work with because it's so easy to tell when they're done. I'm always nervous when I'm trying to prepare something like a roast or steak or even burgers for people because, you know, one person's idea of what medium is can be totally different. But hey, this is shrimp. You make it, take the clearness out of it. Size of the shrimp just kind of dictates how long it's going to be. Plus I want to kind of have some fun in here with the garlic and the asparagus, some flavor. It really does make me hungry. I know I say it like every video. It's really a shame. I'm just trying to pay a little more attention to the shrimp. I don't want to really overcook it. I'll make sure it gets good contact on the skillet. I'm not really steaming it, I do want to kind of grill it, so to speak. There we go, now we're talking. This gives a total time of about 4 minutes. Yeah. Alright. Call this just about. Last ones are just being a little bit. There we go. Turn that on. I know the asparagus is done. Shrimp's definitely gotten nice and firm, a good color. And I love the way the local actually comes from the Gulf. Pink shrimp really looks pretty when it's cooked. Now let's put this together. Alright, got myself a hot bowl of pasta. I'm going to take a little pesto here. I'm going to help heat it up. Take me some other goodies in here. Oops. Alright. Let's get that pasta melted, pesto melted into the pasta. First you're like, oh, that doesn't look like a whole lot. Well, just let the heat do a little. Get that cheese nice and happy. kind of like doing it this way so I can kind of make sure that everything's blended together, and then dish it up so you can do like one at a time. It's kind of fun to have people grab a plate, take as much of the pasta, and especially if you're putting multiple proteins in it, you can be like, which do you like? Do you like more, shrimp? Do you like, and just releasing all that beautiful color and flavor. And of course, what I have to do, you can turn this into a nice bowl now that we've got it all beautified. So I want to get the main stuff that was all mixed together. And I want to get the pretty stuff like the shrimp. You can do that on top for looks. Some of that asparagus. And of course, just want to, and if you like shaved, be my guest and get some shaved Parmesan cheese. But just a little grated, just throw it on here. Doesn't that look lovely? So, like I say, please give it a try, experiment, have fun. This is a beautiful thing you're going to be really happy with. I think I got it dialed in pretty good. Tastes great. A little healthier than buying the jar of stuff. And you can do whatever you want with it. So, of course, subscribe so you get my alerts. Remember, you got to ring that bell to get the alerts, so then every time I post something, you're going to know about it. Be the first on the block. And try it fun. Tell me what you do differently. Someone out there needs to try that arugula thing before I get around to it. And if you don't like the pistachios, you can use pine nuts, that's fine. I just thought that was kind of a great thing. Whatever you gotta do, so comment, try it, just have fun. Try this stuff out, get your family in the kitchen and have a ball. But this, you gotta try. Have a great day.